And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, March 3rd. I am Josh Engleman, and I am here to break down a 7-game NBA slate. And you're getting a lot of me today. This show, Contenders, Strategy Show, live before lock. I'm going to be everywhere, so make sure you're soaking it all in. Before we get started here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Good morning to everybody hanging out in chat right now. See some coffee cups. Nick, Doc, Larry, Nate, good morning, good morning, good morning. Tons to talk about today. Hope you had your Malcolm Brogdons yesterday. Good morning, JoJo. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one today. FanDuel's running some weird 170,000 person tournament that seems wildly unnecessary. Izzy, Rise and Grind, good morning. Trying to get a little bit of water in my body before we get started. Long day today. It's going to be a real long one. And at some point in time this morning, I guess I cut the inside of my hand. Kind of feels annoying. Larry, I assume you mean red velvet Pop-Tarts. Not a big red velvet guy, but I appreciate the shout. I'd be willing to try it, but never been a big red velvet guy. Never understood it. Yeah, I guess Lyle's bust. That's always fun to see. Joseph, Yana? Yeah, Yana? Is that the hard J? Soft J? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, SMP, I hate it. Just, like, I get the gimmick. I get why they're doing the 3-3, but it's so many people. There's too many people in a contest. I'm going to enter it, and it's not probably worth it, but oh well, what are you going to do? Alrighty, I think we should just dive in and start tackling this slate, mostly because, well, one, I almost knocked my coffee over, and if I don't get started right now, I'm probably going to end up knocking my coffee over, and then I'm going to be really unhappy for the day. So, let's get it started. Let's bounce to full screen. First and foremost, right there, Prize Picks, presenting sponsor of this show. Go to awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo. Get yourself 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. Get a deposit bonus at Prize Picks. We have a player prop tool at awesemo.com that will completely revolutionize what you're trying to do at Prize Picks. You should definitely check it out. Link right here, right there. I basically touched it. It was close enough. But anyway, I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do as well. It's time to rise and grind. So get your coffee, your beer, your tea, your water, hot dogs, joints, Pop-Tarts now. All sorts of good stuff we can start the day with. Whatever you have, go ahead and grab it. My coffee's in my hand. If I don't sip this thing shortly, it's probably going all over the floor. So cheers to you guys. Let's get it done. Let's win some money. Let's hope that someone involved in this show is taking down the 133 on FanDuel tonight. So let's do it. Oh, that's delicious. Delicious. Michael, Melvin, good morning. All righty, first game up. Am I drinking mud? No. Just regular old coffee. A toaster strudel. That was never like something we ever had. I only ever had Pop-Tarts. I assume it's basically the same thing. Chicago Bulls, no Lonzo Ball, no Alex Caruso, no Patrick Williams, which means we know this rotation. Same one we normally get. So I don't really have a lot of stuff I want to change here. Unless we think that Javonte Green is going to somehow play less minutes, and I don't. So I think we are already set with what we want. Way better, eh? I mean, they're the same thing in that they're a small rectangle like an envelope that carries fruit paste in this case. I mean, there's not going to be Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels in my house ever, either way. So it's not really that big of a deal. All right, let's go to Atlanta, where we probably have a couple things that are interesting here, because I know Okongwu got hurt the last time out. John Collins is probably close to back. So this one might shake out differently. Q tag on Trey. Oh, yeah. And Trae Young sprained his ankle. So Q tag on Trae Young. John Collins still doubtful. Good to know. No Okongwu. Lou Will is back. So let's get Lou Will, the backup point guard, run. And then we need to think about center minutes. Assuming John Collins is still going to be out, then Cantor, are you trying to say that Margot Robbie is a toaster strudel or Hillary Clinton is a toaster strudel in this analogy? Love to eat them both, though. Toaster strudels and Pop-Tarts, that is. All right, so Capella's probably going to have to play like an extra minute or so in comparison to what he normally does. And I'm going to say that Gorgie Jang is going to be the straight backup. Although, they did go small with what I can only imagine to be Gallo at the 5. Or whoever you want to call it. Margot is the toaster strudel. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say a bad thing about Hillary Clinton because I don't want her to put me down. So she's a nice lady. I guess Gorgie Jang is just going to play a bunch today. Maybe we go like 17 minutes for Gorgie Jang, and then, we kick it up a notch for Gallo to 32 minutes. That seems about right to me. I mean, I also feel like I'm a little light on DeAndre Hunter too, but I guess 34 minutes seems fine. I still have 2 minutes to go. I mean, I guess at least one of them's got to go to Bogdan. And then, I mean, do I want to go to Gallo at 33? It's either Gallo to 33 or Hunter to 35. Hunter to 35 honestly seems like a little bit more likely. But whoever I give that minute to, it's actually like a really big decision. So I might actually not give it to anybody. Feels safer. Dates all stay the same. Game 1 in the books already. Chicago, we didn't have to touch anything. And have I changed? Nope. Got to bump these back to 5 and 10. There we go. All right, so for Chicago, first guy we're looking at is Zach LaVine. Exactly, Cantor, exactly. LaVine looks good. 7,700 on FanDuel, 8K on DraftKings. He's just the best option for Chicago. And I think Vooch is second. 8,500 on FanDuel, I think, is pretty appealing. 9K on DraftKings, still fine. Dosunmu for 5,300 on DraftKings, you could probably talk me into. It's not the best price in the world. And then I can't really justify the 10 plus K DeRozan. For Atlanta, Look at DraftKings pricing on Atlanta. Look at the plus minuses here. 8, 9, 9, 9, 7, 9. Look at the booms. 21, 27, 26, 27, 24, 25. Good luck separating these guys out. Look at the ceilings on these guys. It's all mid 40s in these 5K price tags. If you want to play somebody from Atlanta, Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Gallo, Bogdanovich, Herter, and Capella are all basically the same play relative to their ownership, or relative to their salary. Sorry. Oh, instant oatmeal. I can't even talk. Like, to think about how much of that I used to eat, I would eat 8 packs of that at a time when I was a kid. Brown sugar, cinnamon. Or maple brown sugar, and then it's apples and cinnamon. Maybe sometimes mix those a little bit together because all those flavors go together. But yeah, I would put 8 packs together. I haven't eaten oatmeal in so long. That was so good. I can't imagine the amount of carbohydrates that I was taking in as like a 12-year-old. I would just run it all off. By the way, Atlanta on FanDuel, Trae Young is the best piece. DeAndre Hunter second. Gallo and Capella kind of tied for third. Bogdanovich and Herter, not nearly as good. Yeah, maple brown sugar was the jam. But I did like mixing in a pack of like apple cinnamon, or maybe like 2 packs of apple cinnamon, because all of those flavors go together perfectly. Now I want to go buy oatmeal. Maybe I'll do that the next time I'm home. I won't feel as bad eating that for breakfast. Oh, I ate it a lot. The problem was just eating basically like an entire box in a sitting. I had a very specific bowl at my parents' house that I would only eat oatmeal out of too, which is really weird. God, I had really weird traditions back in the day. Anyway, Memphis at Boston. Grizzlies 3-point favorites in Boston. I assume that's Jaylen Brown being out. 224 total in this one. Check out the Memphis side of this game. I know we had some guys up in the air the last time they played. So we've still got no Dylan Brooks. John Conchar questionable. So I guess Brandon Clark is just back and fine, which means we're going to bump Steven Adams now up to 29 minutes. I'm going to make Brandon Clark play 19 as the backup. I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. in for 29, and that just has to be the case in a competitive matchup. We could take Jarrett Culver out of there. We get John Conchar back in for, well, I got him in for 11 minutes, and that's all I have. So 20 for slow-mo. They go to OT? No OT. Tyus and Ja playing a little bit more together than I was expecting, but that's fine. I think the rest of this is all okie doke. Could probably take a minute away from Zaire, but I don't think it matters. So Memphis, from a rotation standpoint, from a rate standpoint, I think all of this looks fine. We are going to have to make some changes to Boston, though. Obviously, we know with no Jaylen Brown, who I assume is out. I haven't scrolled past it yet. Yeah, out. We know Jaylen Brown being out is going to have a big-time trickle-down effect here. So the real tricky piece will be who really benefits from a playing time perspective. So as we take Jaylen Brown out, I'm certainly giving slightly more playing time to Jason Tatum. I'm going to bump him up to 37 minutes. Dino egg oatmeal? I don't even know what that is. All right, so I think Peyton Pritchard's minutes stay the same. I think Marcus Smart probably gets up to 34. I mean, Derek White's just going to play more minutes, right? Like, they're going to go Smart, White, Tatum, Horford, Robert Williams. That's just what's happening. And then we're going to get Nesmith into the rotation for backup run. Yeah, Derek White's playing 32 minutes. This is why you trade for Derek White. Now, do they go to anybody else? Do I really have this in as a 7-man rotation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we got to get Neesmith. Standard issue backup run. But I'm also like short a guy. I think we might see Tice. Maybe it's not Tice because they can't naturally move Grant Williams down. I would expect them to go to 9, right? 2, 4. I mean, maybe they don't. They have been playing an 8-man rotation pretty aggressively as of late. I think 20 minutes for Neesmith is fine. I think 30 minutes. I mean, maybe I got to go to 32 on Horford. That's where it starts to get a little scary. Maybe I do something like that. 33 to Robert Williams. 32 to Al Horford. We got 29 for Grant Williams. It's leaving me 6 minutes, and I don't know who they're going to give those 6 minutes to. Maybe it's hard to even project that. I'm going to just throw 6 minutes at Sam Hauser right now as the spillover. I want to see what Boston actually looks like when we're done here, but we're going to have to grab rates and find out what does Jason Tatum look like with no Jaylen Brown. And I think that we could leave Dennis Schroeder as a Derek White proxy to not narrow it down too much. How many games has Jaylen Brown missed this season? $14. Okay. I think that we could leave Richardson and Schroeder out there as like an amalgamation of maybe I need to say Dennis Schroeder off as well. He might just have too much usage. Does that still leave me like 200 plus minutes? Nah, it takes me to 137. Wow, that puts Tatum at 39% usage. All right, I'm going to leave. What is Tatum's usage rate if I don't look at it? Tatum, 34% usage. Okay, I think we can meet in the middle here. So we say Jaylen Brown did not play, and we'll make sure that we did have Tatum and Smart. And honestly, I'm going to say Robert Williams. That'll narrow it down a little bit. Probably not too much, though. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. All right, let's grab these rates and let's make some adjustments and see where we want to land here on Jason Tatum. And for the rest of this Boston team. I mean, Al Horford is about to be what I can only imagine is an actual problem today. If he's going to be playing all these big minutes again, we're going to learn some lessons. All right, there we go. Rates are grabbed. Let's check out Boston. We'll start on Jason Tatum. Tatum, 34% usage rate. Feels about right in this spot. I'm going to say that every other rate sort of stays mostly the same. Obviously, Schroeder's not there, so we'll likely see a little bit of a bump to everybody else. I'm actually not going to touch any other rate on this team. Although, maybe I'm actually going to bump Horford up a little bit. But I'm going to let everything else balance itself out. Like, Smart's got slightly less usage, which is kind of weird. Slightly less assist rate, too, which is weird. I think that's just a sign that, Schroeder's all over the ball. So if he's not going to be there, that makes sense. I am going to knock Robert Williams' rebounding rate a bit. Derek White's just going to be a mystery. But I think we're okay here. Let's take a look at it now. So we have both sides of this game. So for Memphis, best option for Memphis is Desmond Bane. 5,700 on FanDuel, shooting guard, small forward. 5,700 on DraftKings, shooting guard, small forward. You'll be able to get to shares of Morant and Jackson. Not the biggest spot here. I mean, this is pace down for Memphis. This is, arguably the best defense. With no Jaylen Brown, it's, they're still a top 10 defense, but nothing too crazy for Memphis. For Boston, unquestionably, we're going to Jason Tatum. 9,400 on FanDuel, 10K on DK. He looks really good with no Jaylen Brown. Don't sleep on Robert Williams, though. 7,600 on FanDuel. I think you can make a case that Robert Williams and Jason Tatum are basically the same on FanDuel, especially because Robert Williams is power forward eligible there. But he's only 6,900 on DK, just center. Still an exceptional price. I think Horford is very much in play. 6,200 and 6,100. And then Derek White, 5,700 on FanDuel, 6,300 on DraftKings. Those four guys are the guys I want the most. Marcus Smart looks fine in the sixes, but he is definitely last out of anybody on Boston. All right, 2 games down. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. As I peek over, I see us with 95 viewers, 33 likes. Okay, that ratio doesn't work for me. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done it yet. Let's go to game number 3. Miami Heat in Brooklyn. 3-point faves. And if it's in Brooklyn, that means there's no Kyrie Irving. But I believe we get Kevin Durant back today. So there's that. Let's look at Miami. Doubtful tag on Kyle Lowry. Wait, they're on a back-to-back, right? Did they play yesterday? Yeah, they did. Okay, so I'm going to assume that Kyle Lowry's not playing today. He didn't play Monday. He didn't play Wednesday. Is he really going to go to Brooklyn for a road game and play on the second half of a back-to-back? That seems weird. You just normally meet your team somewhere else. So I'm just going to assume that he's not playing, at which point the Miami rotation is the same rotation that we've had. I don't really see how I can make any changes here. So we're going to move forward straight to Brooklyn, where we will have to make some changes. For the Brooklyn Nets, Andre Drummond probable, Kevin Durant in, no Kyrie, no Ben Simmons, no Joe Harris. I'm going to delete this entire rotation. And then I'm going to grab rates for the Brooklyn Nets. And we will say that Kevin Durant did play in the game. And we will say that James Harden and Kyrie Irving did not play in the game. How many games do we have where Durant played on his own? Only 3. Interesting. All right, we'll just take those guys off then. Yeah, Cantor, that makes some sense. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to everybody. It's a 7:30 start. We're going to know if Kyle Lowry's playing before lock, so we'll see. All right, so I'm going to assume that whatever I have in there for rates for Brooklyn is going to work. Let's just grab them now. Because all we got to do really is get Kevin Durant right. I don't get the sense. And then if somebody's price is broken, obviously bringing Durant back after being out for so long, most of these guys' prices should be too high for what's going to change. So, and if anybody knows anything about being too high, it's me. All right, so there we go. Rates in. Now, let's figure out rotations. I'm going to go 34 minutes to Kevin Durant. I think that's reasonable. I don't think I'm being too crazy there. Not the best spot, but, we'll figure it out. Drummond didn't play the last game, played 16 minutes the game before that. I'm going to give him 21 minutes. I'm going to give LaMarcus Aldridge the same 21 minutes. I'm going to say that James Johnson continues to play pretty big minutes. I think we're going to get 30 out of Patty Mills. I think we're going to get 33 out of Seth Curry. I assume I'm going right back to Butler as well. All right, so Cam Thomas, this dude's minutes are all over the place. I'm going to go to 20 for him. Oh, I still got to get Dragic in here. He seems to just be playing like 16 minutes a game. That leaves me 39 minutes for Bruce Brown and Kessler Edwards. Did Edwards get hurt, or did he play 2 minutes on purpose? Because if they're going to Blake, that matters. It was competitive. Kessler Edwards played 1 minute and 49 seconds. Did he get hurt? Any Brooklyn fans out there? Anybody that was watching that game? Or did he just play a minute and 50 seconds and then they never played him again? No telling. Great. Great. All right, so how many minutes? I just don't know how to trust Bruce Brown's minutes today. I'm going to try to be a little pessimistic now that Durant's back. I'm going to go 28 there and 11 to Kessler Edwards, 10-man rotation. Although, for all intents and purposes, they went 9. All right. We'll lock that in. Now let's make our swaps for rates. Ooh, and I got to take my watch off and charge it. There we go. Top of the hour. Hit that like button. All right, we start with Kevin Durant, obviously. 35.5% usage rate with Harden and Kyrie off the floor in games that Durant has played. Actually sees a massive assist rate bump. I don't know how high I want to go there, but rebounding bump as well. Kind of just does it all. No surprises. Aldridge, I need to keep with a big usage rate. I assume Drummond needs to hold his. Everybody else probably just falls into place. Patty Mills, 19% usage rate. I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll go to 18. Doesn't look like we're going to have to care too much about the rest of this team, or really any bit of this team. Patty Mills, though, fixing to be a real problem for me. That'll be a treat. All right, this game's in the books. So we know what we're looking at for Miami. And that is unquestionably Jimmy Butler. 8,200 on FanDuel. I'm expecting him to be the best play on the slate, barring any major, guys jumping into playing time type stuff. 8,700 on DraftKings is equally as appealing, but it's Jimmy Butler season in this game for sure. Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent are the other two options that I'd be willing to get to from Miami. I don't think Bam looks great. Better on DraftKings than he does on FanDuel. On the Brooklyn side, I think the only guy that you can play is Durant. 10-4 on FanDuel, 10-8 on DraftKings. I don't have any interest in anything else for Brooklyn. Maybe $4,100 Patty Mills on DK, but that's it. It's only Durant for me. Game number 4, Detroit Pistons, 8.5-point dogs in Toronto, 216.5 total. And if this Detroit team is healthy, then we have no changes to make. Doubtful tag on Bagley, probable tag on Hamidou Diallo. That should mean that we're doing nothing. Corey Joseph, Killian Hayes played even less than the point guard minutes. That's always fun. We did see Frank Jackson get in the game. Magruder and Livers both played. I mean, this team sucks. 32 minutes for Cade is all that really matters. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else I want to change here. This all looks totally fine to me. So Detroit stays, and then we go to Toronto. And from what I understand, this is going to be not fun. Q tag on Fred VanVleet. Q tag on OG Anunoby. Now, here's the deal. Those are legitimate Q tags. They both didn't play on Tuesday after both being called questionable. I think that we're just going to assume that everybody is in for Toronto. I don't know how else we would do this. So let's scratch the rotation, scratch the rates, and we're going to start Toronto from scratch. 37 minutes for Fred VanVleet. 37 minutes for Gary Trent. 35 minutes. Actually, Anunoby would be 36 minutes for Anunoby. 35 minutes for Barnes. 37 minutes for Pascal Siakam. And then we need to try to figure out whatever this center rotation is going to be. So we're going to go with Kem Birch for 12 minutes. We're going to go with Precious Achiuwa for 18 minutes. Uh-oh. We're running out of playing time. We are running out of playing time in an aggressive way. All right, when Anunoby was back, all right, they didn't have Thad Young yet. That's where it gets tricky. Somebody's got to leave the rotation. Will it be Malachi Flynn? That's the real question mark. I'm going to... Yeah, no, that all seems fine. I just don't know. I don't know who they're going to cut. Is it Boucher or Thad? I'm going to give Boucher 16 minutes and Thad Young 12. I guess. We're going to do something like that. I don't trust this at all. I don't trust this at all. All right, so let's grab rates for Toronto just to make sure we have everybody correct here. That's an easy team to project, at least. Siakam, VanVleet, Anunoby, Trent, and Barnes. And we'll say that at least 4 of those guys played in every game. So 4 out of the 5. If we got 4 of the 5 in the game, that game counts. I think that makes some sense. So I'm going to take a minute away from Anunoby. Take him down to 35. We'll bump up Thad for an extra minute. I mean, we know exactly what kind of rates these guys have. So that's the only saving grace here is that we can project these guys really accurately. Now, we have no idea how many minutes they're going to play or who's actually going to be in. Because obviously, it's going to look a little bit different if Anunoby and Van Vliet don't play. But no way to know right now. So, rates. Let's do it. Van Vliet, 24.5% usage rate. I copied the rebounding rates incorrectly. Let's try this again. There we go. All right. Van Vliet, 24.5% usage rate. Everything else looks fine. Scotty Barnes, 18.7. Gary Trent, 21.3. Pascal Siakam, 25.2. OG Anunoby, 20.5. Don't think we're touching anybody else. I guess I should at least lock in Boucher. We're not going to go to anybody else. So, that is Toronto, which means we're done this game. On the Pistons, I don't know. Cade, I guess, is the only guy I'd want across both sites. Jeremy Grant's all right. Bay is all right. No priorities from Detroit is the easiest way to say it. On Toronto, however, oh my God. Okay. All right, so starting five is aggressively good. Why is OG Anunoby $4,700? Why? What sense does that make? Okay, so obviously we're playing all of the OG Anunoby today, no matter what. It's the best play of the day. Siakam, Van Vliet, Trent, Barnes, Anunoby. Play them all aggressively across both sites. Doesn't matter. If anybody happens to be out, they all look incrementally better too. But you just have to jam Toronto, especially on FanDuel. $8,100 Siakam, $7,500 Van Vliet. Every one of these prices is borderline incorrect to wildly incorrect. Jam Toronto. Unquestioned best plays. They're going to be all over the power rankings. Best play in the game is definitely Anunoby on FanDuel if he's playing. If we want to ignore that like clearly broken price tag, it's probably Siakam over Van Vliet, but it's close. You just got to play all these guys. Then we go to Golden State. I think we're supposed to have Clay back today. He was down with the sickness, I guess. Clay in, no Dre, no Iggy, no Wiseman. Bielitsa available. Damian Lee questionable. Most of this should be easy. Let's take Moses Moody's minutes out, Damian Lee's minutes out, Gary Payton's minutes out. And I'll build from there. We're going to get Clay back in for 30. And then Jordan Poole is going to be in for 24. That leaves me 35 minutes for Damian Lee and Gary Payton. Assuming Payton keeps playing about 20, that leaves me about 15 for Damian Lee. All of that makes sense. I guess I should be grabbing rates. We'll say Golden State where Klay Thompson played in the game. That should sort of just cover me. Because if Klay played, then I assume all the other minutes are going to be fine. Yeah, I would be correct. So let's grab the Golden State rates. I'm going to guess that I play very little of Golden State because I play very little of Golden State on a normal basis. This is what we look like in the games that Klay Thompson has played. Start with Steph. 27.6% usage rate for Steph. That's insanity. Big time assist rate bump, though. Klay's got the 28% usage rate. Doesn't really do anything else with any big changes. And then that's sort of it. Everybody else's rates are just way lower. Morning, Ron. So that'll be Golden State. When we go to Dallas, and again, 219 total here. So you would think it's not going to be all that appealing. Anybody out for the Mavs? Nobody that matters, which means this rotation should basically be the same. We saw a little bit less playing time out of Bertans last time out. So we'll bump up Dorian Finney-Smith. Everything else seems about right. Give an extra minute to Maxey, and that'll do it. Rates stay the same. So this game is done pretty quickly. Golden State. There's basically nothing on Golden State that I want to play. On DraftKings, I find them actively bad. On FanDuel, I think you can make a small case for Curry, Wiggins, or Klay. There is not a single priority on Dallas, and it's not even close. On Dallas, play Luka Doncic. You're going to want to pay up with him. 10-7 on FanDuel, 12-2 on DK, and I think he's totally fine on both sites. Reggie Bullock, if you want to try to bet on minutes, I think looks okay. Jalen Brunson looks okay. 2 more games to go. Now, this next one is going to be the one that I think jumps off the page. Sacramento, 6.5-point dogs in San Antonio, 238 total. That 238 total is 14 points higher than the next closest game. So, we got a lot to talk about here from a plays perspective, I'm guessing. Everyone's available for Sacramento, except for Rashawn Holmes is questionable. I'm just going to leave him in as the backup center. If it's not him, it's Damian Jones, and I don't think it matters. We saw Trey Lyle. Actually, obviously, these guys are on the back-to-back, which complicates matters. We saw Lyles get the start. Justin Holiday, De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, and Domantas Sabonis. Lyles, really weird rotations. Played 20 minutes. They ended up going to more Jeremy Lamb. So let's think about the minutes here. 28 for Lyles. I guess the bigger question is, why the short rotation in the second quarter? Is it just because, it's not like anything was going great. He was minus 12, but all of that really happened in the second half, particularly in the closing stretch. He was neutral earlier. So I'm going to go to 26 minutes on Lyles. feels okay. Be 26 here. We get Lamb up to 24. The rest of this seems okay. Even 26 minutes for Lyles feels a little weird, but I mean, he played 20 minutes, but he played all of the normal rotations. It's really hard for someone to play starter run, play in all four spots that you normally would. Like, he closed with the scrubs in a really weird way. Like, is he not set to close there? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to take him down to 25. And we're going to get, I don't know, even Chenzo to 23. I think the rest of this should be fine. We know the rates, so let's go to San Antonio. Look, the Kings are obviously going to be hard to nail down. McBucket is questionable for San Antonio. Means that everything else should look exactly the same as it normally does. Good. So let's check this game out. For Sacramento. Ron, I don't know what you mean there. Fox looks good. Sabonis looks good. At 4K, you're still going to Trey Lyles, power forward center on DraftKings. 4,700 on FanDuel. You need the minutes. On DraftKings, though, even if he's playing 20 minutes at power forward center at 4K, we're talking about needing 30. Like, if he plays 20 minutes, he can go for 1.5 fantasy points per minute. The outlier isn't so crazy. Like, his ceiling in 25 minutes, I have as 38 fantasy points. That's still going to be okay for you. He's not going to be a major priority, but that still looks decent as a value play. I'm okay with it on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's probably too tough of a sell. I'm going to assume he's still starting. It's really hard to assume that a starter plays 20 minutes. If you think he's playing 24, he's a good play today. He just is. Alrighty. 140 viewers, 63 likes. Guys, there's like 80 of you that are watching this show right now, not hitting the thumbs up. What are we waiting for? On San Antonio, DeJounte Murray looks exceptional. 9,600 on FanDuel. He's actually probably a better play than Jimmy Butler was. But DeJounte Murray and Jimmy Butler are likely to be two of my most exposed guys today. 10-6 for Murray on DraftKings is still fine. I think Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, and Devin Vassell are all solid options on DK. Good lineup filler. Not as interesting on FanDuel. But now we are at the end of it all. Final game. The Battle of Los Angeles. AJ, congrats, man. 4K yesterday on $100. That'll work. Let's check out the Battle of LA. For the Lakers, a team that I have no idea how to project because they stink. Looks like DJ Augustine and Wenyen Gabriel are both available. So let's try to fix that mess too. Wenyen Gabriel was on the Clippers. Okay, cool. Move him over to the Lakers. That should be an easy transition. DJ Augustine. God, how many people have Aug in their name? Move him to the Lakers as well. Now we can filter this down. I'm guessing Augustine plays like way more than you would ever expect, but who knows? He probably becomes the straight backup point guard. All right, I'm going to take everybody out of this rotation. Whoop, too much. Except for LeBron and Russ. But I think DJ Augustine's going to step right in to a backup point guard role. He's probably the best point guard on the team right now. Yeah, I said it. All right. I'm going to say 33 minutes for Russ, 37 minutes for LeBron. I'm giving DJ Augustine the backup point guard run. 15 minutes. We saw Dwight Howard play 4 minutes. So they went basically small. Don't think they'll have much issue doing that here. We'll go 12 to Dwight. We'll go 20 to Stanley Johnson. We'll go 29 to Melo. And then Monk probably needs to be in for 30. Halen Horton-Tucker probably needs to be in for like 28. And then everybody else, you know, a small amount of Austin Reeves. Final guy in the rotation was Kent Bazemore. So we're either going to say Bazemore or Ariza. I'm going to go 12 to Bazemore, 8 to Ariza, just because it doesn't matter. Maybe they play Wenyen Gabriel. I don't know. Rates all stay the same here. Looks like we're going to get the Malik Monk. We're clearly getting to Russ. Let's finish this off with the Clippers. Hopefully they are at full strength because this is a team that's really difficult here. Paul George, Norm Powell out. Okay, so same as usual for the Clips. Reggie Jackson, I'm going to give 34 minutes. We've got Terrence Mann in for 31. Seems about right. Marcus Morris in for 30. Seems about right. Zubats in for 25. Works for me. Covington and Batum in the 20s. That might be too many minutes for Batum. Yeah. Go to 24. 22 for Covington. 23 for Kennard. Hartenstein, 17. Brandon Boston played a little bit more. He's going to play a little bit more now again. So, Clippers are done. Final game is done. Lakers. LeBron is solid on FanDuel and DraftKings, but very clearly behind Luka, behind Jimmy Butler, behind DeJounte Murray. So hard to prioritize LeBron. Russ, though, up to 7K on FanDuel. Still, to me, a good play. Borderline great play at that 7K number. Remember, at 7K, he needs 45 fantasy points to hit his boom score. It's interesting. Happy to use Malik Monk as a value play. THT, you could take a flyer on as well. Well, that is the slate, folks. It's time to run some crunches. We need to figure out some optimals. We need to figure out some power rankings. And we need to figure out how we can get 11 more likes on this video to get up over 100. I know Prize Picks would appreciate it, but let's run some crunches. Let's find out FanDuel optimals. I'm going to go with Mahali. Hope I say that right. You do not have access to this spreadsheet when you sign up at Awesemo. Even if I sent it to you, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be all that useful for you. All right, FanDuel Optimal. $342.2. So by 0.1 fantasy points here. Van Vliet, assuming he's in. Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Reggie Bullock is the paydown option. Jimmy Butler, Desmond Bane, Al Horford, OG Anunoby, if he plays. So both questionable guys from the Raptors. And then Vooch at center. You can also just drop down that 10th of a point. There's two separate lineups there that are slightly different. I think that's probably pretty appealing. Now let's look at the power rankings. This is where I'm expecting to see Butler and DeJounte Murray at or near the top. Yeah, SMP, I bet you did. Wow, so it's even more Raptors than I remembered. Okay, so tonight's slate looks like it's going to be really fun. I'm anxious to see who I end up fading. But let's look at this now. We're going to say OG Anunoby is your number one play today on FanDuel. I forgot his price was broken on FanDuel at 4,700. If Anunoby plays, he's the best play on the slate. It's not close. It's not close at all. DeJounte Murray 2, Jimmy Butler 3, Robert Williams, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes. VanVleet, Siakam, and Barnes are all basically the exact same play. Tatum and Doncic are the other guys above 20. So loaded at the top. Anunoby, Murray, Butler, Williams, VanVleet, Siakam, Barnes, Tatum, Doncic. I'm naming stars or like really good players. Vooch, Horford, Derek White, Russ, Bane. I mean, loaded. Loaded at the top. Looking good. FanDuel just absolutely loaded. Not much else we can say there. Then we go to DraftKings. We pop everybody in for DraftKings. Optimal lineups on DK. Did we hit our 100 yet? We sure did. 150 viewers, 100 likes. Love you guys. I appreciate it. 283.7 is the optimal on DK. We've got DeJounte Murray, Desmond Bane, DeAndre Hunter, Al Horford, Robert Williams, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and Trey Lyles making himself known in the optimals on DK. Now, got it by 0.6, so nothing crazy. Let's check out optimals on DraftKings. That should be pretty easy to do. No, wait, I just screwed that up. Let's re-upload those projections. I did the same thing I normally do. That's where you put the 250. There we go. All right, so it's bunched at the top, but we know the names we're going to see. Sotex, you are correct. Today is not a Yahoo day. I guess I could probably do a Yahoo optimal for you, though. You guys deserve it. Well, if OG Anunoby plays, he's going to be knocking on the door of the top spot on DraftKings as well. Anunoby at the top of DK. Robert Williams 2, Al Horford 3, Gallo 4, Desmond Bane 5, Lyles, Hunter, Barnes, Murray, VanVleet, and Vincent round out everybody above the 15% mark. And now, because Sotex asked so nicely, we'll do Yahoo Optimals. And Yahoo Power Rankings as well. So, Yahoo Optimal at 7:31 a.m. Trae Young. This is by 1/10 of a point, too. Trae Young, Derek White, Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, Gallo, Horford, Robert Williams, and Trey Lyles. And then we take a look at power rankings on Yahoo. The optimal. Yeah, it's going to be pretty flat at the top. Looks like VanVleet pulling away if he's able to play. Yeah, look at Robert Williams ran him down. Who's it gonna be? It's a tie on the dot. VanVleet and Robert Williams tied in the top. Then we drop down to, this is everybody above 15. Tatum, Gallo, Butler, Horford, Levine, Westbrook, Hunter, Bogdanovich, White, and Gary Trent Jr. Guys, another one up, another one down. We're 4 days into this work week. I appreciate having you guys here. I love this show so much. You're getting me a ton today. It's me and Laffy on the strategy show this morning, so make sure you're tuning into that one. Contenders videos will be out in a bit. I got to go clean my kitchen a little, grab a shower, then crank out the contenders. And then live before lock tonight, myself and Greg going 90 minutes. So make sure you're tuning in. Thanks for being here, guys. It's great. Check out Prize Picks. You guys see the banner right there. Good luck. Win some money. We're all taking a shot at that big one on FanDuel today. It'll be a good one. Oh, Cody, good one. What did I make for dinner? Pork chili verde. And it was absolutely delicious, as it normally is. Good stuff. So, adios, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Closing out the work week tomorrow. This was the process.